Hey guys, I thought I'd do a quick walkthrough of this practice app that I've created. It's just a link on the web, no login or anything. And I initially created it for myself, and then in the WhatsApp group, some people thought it could be useful for them as well. So that's why I'm sending the link around. If you have any questions or suggestions for improvement, please let me know. Like some of the things on this app have come as requests from our fellow students. So let me walk you through like what you're seeing on the website. So at the top, we have global settings, and then we have kind of headings and subheadings underneath them. So let me illustrate things from the words perspective. So in words, they're grouped by like logical kind of groupings, and they're alphabetized according to like the American pronunciation. Okay, like that's an A here, so that's what they're alphabetized by. So that's how you can find the words and phrases on the website. If you click on any of them, so actually let me do like a general walkthrough. So what's happening is you have the line by line groupings, and they have certain fields. So on the left, we have the Persian. On the right top, we have the transliteration, they call it, so the way you pronounce it. Bottom of that, we have the meaning, so what it means. Now, if you want to, because I use this as a practice app, right? So occasionally I want to like test myself. I want to either test the way I write it or the way I read it or the way I pronounce it or its meaning, right? So all these things should be testable within this line. So what you can do is if you can either on a line by line basis or on a global basis, you can turn various fields on and off. So for example, if I want to test my pronunciation, I'm just going to turn off the transliteration everywhere. And then I can, let's say, try to read this and then check on these like line by line levels, turn it on and see if I'm right. So that's one way, for example, that I'm using the app. Or I can like turn off the meanings everywhere and then I can like try to remember, maybe I'll even turn off the transliteration and then I'll try to remember both the reading as well as the meaning of it. Then there's this other thing. If I want to test the spelling, what I can do is I can keep the English and I'll turn off the transliteration and I'll turn off the Persian. I can do this like on every line. Maybe sometimes I want to read it and then turn it off. It depends, but the FA stands for Farsi. The AA is just the transliteration. The EN stands for the English. Oh, and these are the diacritics, by the way. So if you add them, you're just going to get these like squigglies everywhere. And if you like are having a hard time reading, you can just turn them on and off to get a sense of the spelling, get a sense of the pronunciation. But if you want to test your spelling, you can like turn off the Persian. And you can have, if you have spell check turned on, you're going to see, let me just switch, as I illustrated, where was mine? Yeah. So if you get the whole line right, the whole line is going to light up green. If you do something false or if you do a mistake, you're going to see it in red. You can turn it on and off like to not interfere and get this immediate feedback until the very end. So that's another way that I use the app. And then obviously you can like switch back to the Persian, back to the real ones, either on a line by line level or a global level. The other thing is I put a bunch of Persian fonts. Now, these are like the ones at the bottom are very like poster fonts. You can see them, possibly graffiti fonts and stuff. I just loaded them because I wanted to get my eyeballs like used to looking at these different fonts. But if you're using it mostly, like we're going to switch between the first top three. So the Nastaliq, the Paris 2, and Vezirmat, and I just found them to be the most helpful, so you can switch them around and see and practice your reading that way. I've been doing these by lesson. So, for example, if we want to look at the lessons we last learned, the words we learned in the last lesson, these would be those words. Now, the professor mentioned, or Ustad mentioned that we're on lesson 12 today instead of 11. So I'm possibly missing the first lesson. I'm not totally sure. But I'll just keep going with this numbering. So it's T minus one is the most up-to-date lesson, is the way you can think about it. Another thing is, so if you click on, this obviously does not make sense without the transliteration. If you click on either the transliteration or does it, yeah, it only happens if you click on the transliteration or the Persian, but it's going to do this like, letter by letter coloring thing, which a number of people have found helpful. And that goes for, let me reset the lessons. By the way, you can always hit reset and it's just going to go back to the original state. There's also the IPA that I didn't mention. So international, I think phonetic alphabet is it. That's there. So the way I've retrieved those is by literally going to Wiktionary for each of those entries. Let me see if there's anything else I want to say. So the minus and the pluses here are just increasing the size of the Persian on the left. I already talked about the coloring, the diacritics. The stories here, that's just you don't need to focus too much on it if it confuses you, but somebody was mentioning that they wanted to see some of the words like used in a sentence. So I had AI create simple stories with some of the words that we've learned so we can practice seeing them in a sentence. And the rest of it just works the same sort of way, including the Farsi on and off. There's also the notes. So, like, possibly, Ustad was mentioning, for example, that this is formal, this is informal. If you wanted to check those out, you can see them in the notes, but they're turned off by default. And that's the stories. Now, I'm not totally sure. I have to think a little bit about how to possibly incorporate some of the things from the lesson in terms of grammar into this. So far, it's just like simple notes like this from our earlier lessons. But at least, I think the words and phrases should be the most helpful parts of the app for now. Okay, please do let me know if there are improvements you want to see. I love creating, super useful software that is a joy to use and that really helps us with our learning and our goals. So do let me know if you have requests. Thanks. Good practicing. Bye.